Thank you for coming out in the middle of the day. We're honored to welcome to the stage Vice President Mike Pence. Yeah, so we just had a one-on-one conversation with Vice President Mike Pence, had him for half an hour, asked him a couple times whether General Kelly's going to stay as Chief of Staff. He never just said yes. So it sounds like you think he should stay.
I look forward to continuing to work with him for many, many months to come.
And I just think the hemming and the hawing around Kelly, I think, captures the uncertainty inside the White House.
The leaking at the moment for the last 72 hours, I would say, is up at sort of Reince Bannon era levels. That's pretty much real-time leaking from the West Wing, from multiple sources, with people trying to murder the Chief of Staff. So
unheard of, though, to see a White House paralyzed by an issue like this, 8-9 days running.
Probably the biggest fact check moment. He tripled down on the idea that the Russians did not change the result.
But let me say again, there was no impact on the outcome of the 2016 election from any foreign meddling.
And the most absurd moment of that whole interview was when you asked him about whether or not he agrees with the intelligence committees that Russia's already trying to interfere in 2018. It's like there's a lot of weird things that are happening, but to have the entire intelligence apparatus of the U.S. government, both parties, all agencies, say unequivocally, then, after the election and now, that the Russians interfered and are trying to interfere again, and to have the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, not agree? That's weird.
A lot of what they say is for the audience of one.
Yeah, and you're being even a little too polite. Like, one of the hardest things to do in journalism is interview a president, interview a vice president. This vice president, more than anyone, he talks like he's on a talk show. Every single line seems like it was rehearsed in front of a mirror. And I think like his words, his language was clearly well rehearsed, but was meant to be iron tough in terms of the Koreans. I don't think they want there to be any mystery.
But talking is not negotiation. Talking is understanding one another. As we made clear, the United States has viable military options to deal with the threat of nuclear and ballistic missiles.
They do want to talk, but he tried to make a distinction between talking and negotiating.
There's a much better chance that we do end up going to war, I think, than the public commonly understands. And it's not just the president, it's Pence, it's the National Security Council, all of whom feel like there's not a scenario where they're going to allow the North Koreans to have a missile that can hit our shores with a nuclear payload. And if it takes war to prevent that, I don't understand how that actually plays out in a way that's not devastating. They would argue there's ways to do it with some precision and that they would do it.
Thank you very much, and see you on Axios.com.